So in 2012, when I saw crypto the first time, I felt like, this is a bunch of bullshit.
We do need to go back to sound money.
We're the only species on this planet that pays to exist.
It's not you're not in control of who prints the money.
We have to pay to work, we have to pay when we die, all of it.
Can't ban it.
And still people are skeptical about it.
I just don't even. But they probably don't even have full trust. They probably don't even know what's going on in the world.
None of them have any fucking assets.
Give it another year or two, we're going to be feeling this. That's why, like, we do need to go back to sound money.
Yeah.
Your example there, where a teacher and a fireman had a equivalent of a £300,000 house, 3-bedroom house, sorry, and now to get that, you'd have to have 2 CEO salaries. In fairness, that's not anyone's fault. That's no one's fault. It's what's happened is the middle class is getting wiped out, but it happens gradually, and people don't realise it. Yeah. And it gets to a point where now, where you used to get a 3-bedroom house on 2 normal job salaries, you now need 2 CEO salaries.
Yes.
That means that you either, as someone on an average wage, have to step up to get to be in like the top 10%, 1%, 5%, to be able to manage that, or you start slipping down. Yes. But that gap's going to get worse because they're going to keep printing.
Well,
because they can't not.
Yeah, you can see it. It's transitioning.
Yeah.
The reality of it is just which one of these 3 are you pushing in your effort? Because as your effort gets rewarded for it. Mm-hmm. And the reality is everybody does this.
Yeah.
Still, this is like this 2.0 is just embedded in every context of it.
Yeah.
I mean, to the extent like we've spoken about, we get good turnouts with this. But if you think about the story that I tell in regards to how Wolf is created, the amount of times we've put it out there, the fact that I took £13,000 originally and I turned it into £300,000 equivalent in a year and a half, but also built something physical. The place we're sitting in here today, that was made from that difference, that movement of coke from year to year, has resulted in this, in the physical thing. And even with that story and how powerful that is, and the reality of it, that I don't think there's many stories out there in the world that's done that. And still people are skeptical about it and won't buy into it because they're so embedded in the belief of this 2.0 that gets thrown towards them. Yeah. And I think that's the reality of it.
And what's insane is, if you hadn't put that 13 grand into Bitcoin and just kept it in a bank, what would that 13 grand, the nominal value, or the value printed on it would probably be £13,100 now with interest. But what would that buy you now? A hell of a lot less.
Well, I mean, the staff member, I think, I had this discussion with, we went the gold route, and then the next thing she said was property. But the interesting thing about it, she was saying, I like property. And I said, but why do you think property is valuable? She said, well, but it grows every year. So yeah, but it's attached to this.
Yeah.
And I gave the example. So we had a 3-bedroom house in Greenwich. I purchased it in 2018 for £580,000. I sold it last year for £675,000. And she said, oh, it's like £100,000 gain. It's like, no. So if you work out the inflation aspect of it, and stuff, I've lost
you're backwards.
£10,000 to £20,000 purchasing power in that process.
Yeah.
So literally, I would have been better off putting that in savings effectively or something like that. And that's the thing. People think properly, and you know, the Michael Saylor piece had a very interesting aspect to it. He said the biggest problem you have with property is it's so fixed that they can target it relentlessly in regards to tax, and you can't move. You can't pick up a building and move it to something that's more prevalent. And I've told you before, you guys came over and sold Casper to me, and I accepted Bitcoin. I did a lot of Bitcoin Collective meetings here. And the Bitcoin Collective guys are guys that's, you know, they're seasoned. They've been in this space now for a while.
Yeah.
So all of them extremely wealthy, got into Bitcoin in 2012. None of them have any fucking assets. They don't have own property, anything. They're moving through the world, living between 3 and 6 months in a space where they're Airbnb or renting things. They rent cars, and they're completely off this whole cycle thing. And you can talk about the financial independence and things that these guys have. But the thing that I noticed the most in regards to my discussions with all of them was the absolute freedom they have. And the fact that they still feel they feel like men and people that's not bought into the system. And that's the thing we're missing with this. I mean, we're the only species on this planet that pays to exist. We have to pay where we live. We have to pay to work. We have to pay when we die. All of it's mad.
And it's all being controlled by someone else. It's not you're not in control of who prints the money, who has legislation over you. And that's the problem. And that's why we do need to get back to hard, sound money. But do you think people... So the majority of people have full trust, or they probably don't even have full trust. They probably don't even know what's going on in the world. And do you think that's because they're so busy just trying to earn a living that they don't have time to actually stop and evaluate, okay, you need to do this, or this is why this is happening. This is why your £20 now, when 20 quid used to get you a hell of a lot, like a good slap up or a fancy restaurant meal, now gets you a McDonald's at best.
I think it's an element of critical thinking that's been destroyed. And the reality of it is it's not even that much bounded to intelligence. So I'm going to use myself as an example. When I grew up, originally, I wanted to become a trader, big time. So when I was 15, 14 years old, I started learning how to do technical trading in every aspect of it. And I did technical trading for a while. So I took all my money that I was earning from working in bars and restaurants and things, because you still worked when you was a teen. I started working when I was 12, selling beer.
A lot of things are making sense now.
So I used that money, I started technical trading. I lost all of it. And then as I progressed and I worked and I had to pay for my own studies, so I saved everything up over the years. And then when I studied BCom economics. And then as I learned about economics, you learn about efficient market theory and the fundamentals and shit. And I thought, okay, so this is it, Warren Buffett. Let's go. So I started analyzing the accounts of things, and I made these decisions on what I need to invest in. And I did that. I lost all my money. And then I progressed through university, and I worked full time also as I was studying, so I always had money that I was putting away for things. And then I got to a point where I lost all this money, and I said, no, I'm just going to buy shit I believe in. So the things I use and the things that I believe in and the things I've got a good feeling for, and even the people, the CEOs of things that I see, which I get a good feeling of, I'm going to invest in that. So I started doing that. And I started making a lot of money. And over the years, that money has financed all my business ventures and all the things that I produced. But even then, knowing the fundamentals of money, because if you study economics, you learn the attributes of money, what's the things, medium of exchange, store of value, all that shit. So even with those things, and those, you understand those fundamental attributes of money. When you look at this and you get told of this, you don't put this to the test at all. You just assume. Because it's so fucking embedded. There's 2 zeros.
You trust it.
There's everything in your mind. So in 2012, when I saw crypto the first time, I thought this is a bunch of bullshit. Magic internet money. What's going to happen? And for those who know my story, in 2018, I got hit by a £100,000 tax bill, which I won in 30 days. And then after shitting myself, as I do, I do what I always do. I do a plan A to G, plan A being getting to that money 10, 20 years time, not under 30 days, and plan G, going to a loan shark, betting on horses, shit like that. But as I went through that process, I thought I need to go back to basics. And Elon does this a lot also, where he talks about going to the fundamentals.
Yeah, first principle thinking. Yeah.
I thought I need to go check crypto out, because I read a lot. And I read quite a few articles about dudes that's lost thumb drives in, I think, with 200 million pound Bitcoin on it. And the question that comes in your head is like, how the fuck did this guy have 200 million pounds of Bitcoin on a thumb drive? Like, it's all, what is going on here? So I went and I analyzed crypto, and I analyzed fiat, and I put it to the test in regards to attributes. And all of a sudden I realized that this is more fake than anything else in the process. And because of that, I started investing in crypto, and that's how I moved to 13,000 to 300 in a year and a half time. Now, I have a lot of talks with a lot of different people, because I tend to like to talk. And I tend to engage with people. So like, even when I do my cardio in the morning, when I walk up in the I've got two guys, and they're older than you all. So
no excuses.
But I've got people. The 160, the 164 and the 167, and I engage with them. We have discussions about how the world's shaping and the things that's important. And everybody in their core understands that this is not working, and this is broken, and they're sad and they're scared, and they are just grafting. The one guy that walks up and down the stairs, he comes past me when I walk up and down the stairs. I do a weighted walk, so I've got 30 kgs on me, and I do this for my cardio.
Show off.
Doing 5 and 6. And then I talk to him every morning, and he has been working for 40 years, never taken a day off in his life at all. And he was now diagnosed with cancer. He had liver cancer. And he was going in for operation. It was about 3 weeks ago, where they were going to cut off half of it and things like that. Still positive, still strong, still working. It's like a week before the operation. It's not at home crying or doing anything. And we talk a lot about what's happening in society and all these things. And the thing that I recognize every time I engage with any type of individual is that fundamentally, at its core, doesn't matter if you're left, right, fucking apolitical, good, you name it. It doesn't really matter who you are. You have fundamental core value systems that's embedded in you because you're a fucking human being. And human beings developed in the way we've done because we're socially dominant. I mean, people don't recognize or understand this aspect of it at all, but if you look at the evolution back in the day, Neanderthals were far stronger, more intelligent, and had better tools than us. The reason why their 3% of our DNA has completely died out is because they congregate in groups of 9 to 12, where we congregated in groups of 50. And our groups of 50 had other aspects like the older men and the older women that had roles within our society that protected them and was valued.
We had coordination.
So as Homo sapiens...
Stag hunt, by the way.
So Homo sapiens, we're social creatures in that construct. And we live in that, and that's why we dominated as a species. We weren't the strongest and the fastest in every way, but we managed to
work together
and be collective. So we all are pursuing the same thing or have the same understanding of the world. But this mechanism and how this is implemented, not only politically but economically across the world, is anti-human. It doesn't fit our value system. It doesn't fit with it. It's the reason why we can walk in cities and see a person being attacked and take our cameras out and then not get engaged. Because if it was our 50 people and it gets attacked, you're in there and you're solving. So for me, and we've also spoken about this a lot of people pursue this to get more of this, to buy more of this.
That's it, to get,
But the reality of it is this is a far bigger thing than just getting financial freedom, becoming wealthy, and these things.
Yeah.
This is your vote to obtain your humanity back,
Yeah.
to obtain our freedom back, and to break this anti-human system that's destroying our world in every concept. And that is what people are missing
Yeah.
when they talk to you about crypto.
Yeah.
And that the fundamentals that they don't understand, that this is not about money. This is not about buying more coats.
Yeah.
This is
far
this
bigger.
is about taking our humanity back
Yeah.
and winning that cycle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's my.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree, and I think. See, I think the barrier to entry for people, or what's stopping people from learning about crypto, is one, they like propaganda, media. It's Wild West shit. It's all a scam.
Yeah.
Which I get. There's a shit ton of scams in crypto, but there are real crypto projects, like real useful, and that, like you said, that it's bringing sound money back.
Yeah.
And it's giving you sovereignty back. All you need to do is just accept it. Like you have to be part of that ecosystem, whether it is Bitcoin or whether it is Casper, but like believe in it, because it can really set you free. And that's a hard sell to someone who's so used to that, the £20 note. And I think, whether we like it or not, the way you get people in it, the easiest way to get people in it is when the value of that goes up or down. The value of that goes down against that.
Yeah.
So basically, you're making more of that.
Yes.
By purchasing that.
Yeah.
So when the number goes up, people get excited. I mean, this is how me and Tom got into crypto. Because obviously we're in construction. There's no tech side to us at all. The most tech I've got in me is I played Grand Theft Auto. But the reason we actually stumbled into Bitcoin, for example, we're buying a flat, and it fell through because it had some weird covenants on it that we couldn't fulfill, and so we weren't going to get a mortgage for it. So we lost a bit of money on that, didn't we? Probably about $5,000 on that. But the money we had left over, we were like, well, we haven't got any other properties lined up. What do we do with it? Because we want to grow it. Because we knew if we'd kept it in a bank, we'd lose purchasing power. We knew that much.
Let's go.
Less coats. So we heard about this Bitcoin thing, so thought, right, okay, we'll stick our money in that then and see what happens. And stuck money in that, done really well. And it did really well. And we were like, fucking hell, it's done a lot better than if we'd just bought the flat and rented it out. Even in capital appreciation in the flat as well, with that passive income. But so that was exciting for us. And that got us into crypto, because we were like, okay, we've obviously timed this right and we were lucky, but we've just made a fuck ton of money here. How did that happen?
Yeah.
And then you start actually researching it, and then you start going, okay, I need to understand why this thing's gone up so much, because it doesn't make sense. And then you really do go down a rabbit hole, pretty much the whole rabbit hole you've just gone through.
You find out this is finite.
Yes, exactly.
That's the big thing.
And it's useful, and it's energy that can be transferred. It's like insanity. And it's so clever how they've done it. And then obviously we learned about Bitcoin and was really excited about that, and it resonated with us and our ethos. Like we believe in that sort of structure. We believe in having self-sovereignty and things like that. And then Casper came along, and again, that weirdly enough, Casper's something I ignored. It came up on my timeline and it said, "Oh, we sold a trilemma," and I thought, rubbish. Like,
I had no idea about it until you guys
I know.
put 4 beers in.
We had some beers and you went, "Yeah, I'll accept it." Cool. But yeah, it's a strange one. So I think the biggest opportunity we've got, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Casper, but the biggest opportunity we've got as people that believe in sound money is when that sound money starts going up in value against the stupid fiat.
Yeah.
Because when it starts doing that, people get excited and people start FOMOing in. it's at that point you need to capture them, because if you don't, they'll start going into Fartcoin and all sorts of other shit, and they will get wrecked.
Yeah.
And you need to say, look, this hype will die off and you'll have a pullback, but if you look over a long enough time curve, it's a constant up.
Yeah.
And it will be. All the while they have to print, and this is the thing, they have to print money now.
Yes.
It's not even like they could potentially not. They have to, because they've got to cover their debts. And the bubble's so big now, maths has taken over. They have to print. Exactly. It's literally, they have to. It's not even, we don't want to. No, you have to. Because if you don't, that whole system collapses, and they don't want that.
Yes.
So they'll kick that can down the road as long as they can. I mean, what's the pound's lost like 98% of its purchasing power?
Yeah.
Since its inception. Like, people need to wake up to that. That's insane, because we are in the final days of Rome here.
Yes.
But there's something on the horizon that you could potentially get into.
Yeah, you don't have to fight the barbarians.
Yeah.
For the next 1,000 years.
You just have to accept cash. Accept cash as payment. Euro, and that's
So do you think that becomes more evident when that is not still sense? When that is digital, which it will be digital. Do you think that becomes more evident?
Potentially. I think what Wolf's saying is exactly right, though. A lot of people, and even I'm guilty of it. I think everyone's guilty of it. Nobody gets into crypto to lose money, but we see money as that. And it's hard to see money as that when it's not accepted yet, even though I know that that's sound money. So you still do get when it starts going down in value, when Casper starts going down in value against that, you start getting upset, and it's a bit like, you understand that you've got conviction, but you understand it's a bit depressing. It is. It's just one of those things. But because you've got conviction and you understand how money works, and you know they have to print this at some point. Like at the moment, I think we're in a really weird situation where risk on hasn't been around, like for institutions anyway. Risk on hasn't been about for a fairly long time now, because everyone has to look at the Federal Reserve. They're the big boys. America are the world reserve currency. When they sneeze, everyone else gets a cold. So we have to look at the Fed. And the Fed's policies have been extremely hawkish, and they've kept interest rates high, and they brought them down a bit, but it's not been enough. And what if you look at the money markets, for example, they have trillions locked in them. When all the money got printed, it got sucked out, that liquidity got sucked out into the reverse repos, and it stayed in there for a long time. Now that's all gone out, but it's now gone out to the institutions who have now put it into the money markets. So they're buying up treasuries, they're buying up T-bonds, T-bills, everything like that. Because they're getting a good return on them still, because the interest rates are so high. And because interest rates are so high, they're taking people's money, they're getting funds in everywhere and putting it into the money markets, because they're making 5%, 8% sometimes, and some mental ones. But they're making a fairly decent yield for and it's safe, setting it into a treasury bond, because the interest rates are so high. So if you're a manager that works for a fund, that's not your money. You don't care if you make you're guaranteed your fund's going to make 5%. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my massive bonus. I'm happy with that.
And that's a fundamental thing, also part of this whole. One of the things that's also missed is people have a perception that decisions are made based on very long-term outcomes. The reality of it is not. So even though a bond yield is 30 years, the traditional analysis of it's like, everything that's people are buying this because they believe the UK is still going to exist in 50 years. It's not, because the guy who's buying it He doesn't give a fuck if it's 30 years or 20 years. Like you said, he wants to make his 10% on his bonus on whatever that yield is.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He doesn't understand it. There's no thought in that in regards to. That's the thing.
And that is it. But as soon as like we don't have stability in the world right now, things are all up in the air. As soon as that stability comes back and the interest rates start coming down, they've already started printing. Like, I think Britain printed, or they put out gilts for, is it 15 billion in one go?
Yeah.
Like, just don't even. But but again, that's monetary inflation. It takes time. There's always a lag. It takes time for price inflation to catch up. And so when I hear 15 billion's just getting printed out in the UK, my immediate thought is, give it another year or two, we're going to be feeling this.
Yeah.
So what do I do, knowing that with that information? I put it in something I believe in, that's sound money.
Yes.